All right, so first question here from Wendy. She's saying, where would you recommend to link if your company does not do e-commerce with in regards to Pinterest, that click-through link? So I would say your website, definitely. A contact page on your website where someone could email you or give you a phone call or fill out a contact form if they had questions about the product. You can even include that in your Pinterest description. Say, call our store or email our store if you're curious about this product. If you don't have a website, I'm going to really encourage you to get a website first, but in that same breath, I'll say, send them to your Facebook page where hopefully you're posting regularly about your product, about your store, about your staff, and things along those lines. So no worries if you don't do e-commerce, because that's a beast in itself, but you can always drive people to that contact page or to a social media channel that is being regularly updated.
Right. And actually, Janet had a question relating to that same exact thing, and she said, if you are doing e-commerce, should that Pinterest link go to their general website or like directly to the product, page itself? And I think I actually alluded to this earlier. It really should go right to the product. So, when someone is coming from Pinterest, they're usually in that shopping mindset, anyway. They see the product and they want to know where to buy it, how do they get it? So have that click-through link go directly to the product on your site, sort of one click to buy, make that conversion as simple as possible.
Alrighty, a couple questions here from Ronnie. I hope I'm saying your name correctly. But asking about the best way to promote a business name change as well as changing locations. So hopefully you have an email list of your clients, your customers. I would say, send an announcement. It's an exciting thing, obviously this is hopefully a change for the best. So I would just, send an email announcement and almost follow the same guidelines of that event, like do teaser posts and then actually do, an event invite, like, hey, we are having a grand opening with this new name and this new location. And then follow up as well, so that brand recognition begins because it's in front of your audience. But also, not just through email marketing, you need to change your social profiles so that your name is represented correctly. You also need to, change any sort of profile details like your About Us. In your About Us, you can have formerly known as blah, 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 but, now we've got our name changed and kind of just explain that. But yes, be posting regularly about it, and I would follow the kind of those four structure points of the event guidelines.
Absolutely. The only thing I would add is also make sure on Google that your business location is up to date, because a lot of people are just going to type in the name looking for you, the new name or the old name. So I would just update, all of that information, make sure it's ready to go. We have a question here from Drucy, and they're asking, when you do a buy now button as your call to action, can you have them come into the store to pick it up? And if so, how do they pay for it? How does that sort of email, e-commerce option work? So great question. There are different levels of e-commerce, I would say. So some stores have a full e-commerce website. Maybe they're using Shopify or another provider to really offer, a ton of products online. But there's much simpler solutions. So for example, for Snap Retail, we have an integration just with PayPal. So you could put a product into your email, have it linked with a business PayPal account for you, and just have customers pay that way. So, they could just, almost everyone has a PayPal account. If they don't have one, they can actually still pay you through PayPal, which is nice. So they could just put that money right to your PayPal account, and then you could shoot them an email and say, hey, this product is ready for pickup tomorrow, or whatever, and go ahead and do that. So that is very popular for our customers who just want to offer a few items for e-commerce, or maybe they want to offer services or gift cards, certainly around the holidays. If you're not selling gift cards online, that is a great email to send out and one that you'll certainly get engagement on. So yeah, great question. I would just use, a simple PayPal integration and go ahead and do it that way. And if that's something, that you're just sort of thinking about, you have never done before, definitely work with us. We have a marketing guru that can walk you through that, help you get it all set up, and that sort of thing. So let us know if we can help.
Yeah, and getting your feet wet with gift cards is what I always recommend, or services, something that's not tangible and doesn't need shipping and handling. So quick question here from my girl Mickey. asking about Tip Tuesday. Yep. So that's actually a program that we recently launched at Snap Retail. We send a free guide or resource every week. And Mickey, I will make sure you're on it. I'm shocked you're not already on it, but I'll double check for you.
Yeah, and if anyone else wants to be on Tip Tuesday and you're not receiving it, just go ahead and throw your email into the chat, and I'll make sure that you get on there. No problem at all.
And then we have a couple of questions here about Facebook ads. So I could talk about Facebook ads for a 3-part webinar series, each an hour long, because they are so in-depth. And that's why we wanted to give you a quick, easy tip of just boosting your posts, for even $5, because that is the most simple Facebook ad. In regards to if you're a local business and should you be targeting your own audience versus targeting a new audience, I would say, for $5, try both. Take your post, boost it for $5 to your existing likes. Obviously, those are people that wanted to hear more from you, so that's a great audience. But you can also try boosting it to see, if new people like it, based off of something as simple as zip code. That's always my favorite as you're starting out with Facebook ads, because those, if you have that zip code, you have a chance of walking into a brick and mortar store versus going off of someone's interest. You can target ads based off of like, hey, they already liked a page, maybe it's of your competitor or it's a certain interest. Back to Mickey who has the dance shop. If they like Capezio on Facebook, a dance shoe, obviously she wants that person because she sells Capezio. So things along those lines are more broad. If you are brick and mortar, I would say zip code plus an interest is going to get you the best group of people for that small amount of money. But, it's all trial and error. I wish that there was a magic formula. Unfortunately, there isn't. But for that small amount of money, don't hesitate to try it, to your existing likes and to new people as well, based off of that targeting.
Yep. So Jennifer has a question, sort of about that targeting. We talked about both for emails and we've been talking about with Facebook ads and different stuff. And she asked, can you get the subscriber's location if you don't, have this info, if they didn't provide that info on the sign up? Unfortunately, there's really not an easy way to do that. I mean, what I would say is if you are using an email collection form, on your website, on your Facebook page, where people are able to subscribe to your list, make sure you at least have maybe like city, state, or zip code, as part of that form. Maybe don't even make it required. Like I wouldn't make them put their full address because that's sort of a barrier to getting people to sign up. But, ask them for a little bit of geographic information so that you do have that right off the bat, and can utilize that then for your marketing efforts. For your existing list, you could always, sort of send an email out and say, hey, we're trying to make our content more relevant for you. Do you mind providing it? But that's going to be a little bit of a manual process, or you're going to have to send them, back to the form to almost like resubscribe, type of thing. So, again, there's not a super easy way to sort of go back. It's more about, I would have those forms set up so that you get it right off the bat.
All right, I have a question here from Adam about what is the best way to get engagement on customer reviews. So I would recommend using an application called like Canva, CANVA. .com. It's free, and it's a great way to take those reviews that you may have from all over the web and turn them into images. They have a lot of different layouts for quotes. People are visual, so for example, if you Google Snap Retail, we actually have a 5-star rating, which is pretty amazing. Brush our shoulders off over here a little bit. But, so we take those reviews all the time and make them into pretty images using those templates. Because just to look at reviews, there's obviously credibility there. But when we make them more visual and share those on social media, we get such better engagement. We also, within Snap Retail, if you're a Snap Retail subscriber, have email templates that are asking for reviews on Google. Sometimes it's nice just to remind your audience, especially if you have a segmented list of VIPs, hey, if you review us, it really helps us out. And we have templates that, will walk you through that exact process and walk your customers through that process so that they can leave a review. But I guess my number one suggestion would be try to make those reviews visual and, share those on your social media platforms, because it's a great way to, catch someone's eye a little more than the normal review and get some engagement on it.
Yeah. I mean, also, if you offer an incentive, for a review or something like that, that's a great thing. I know, a local chiropractor, I was going to, is like if you, gave them a review, you got all of these entries to try to win a massage, or something like that. It was simple, but it got me to go and leave them a Google review. So sometimes just a very small incentive like that, maybe a little discount or something can work as well.
Yeah, and that website, again, was Canva, CANVA.com. I'll type it in the chat, too, in case I'm murmuring. Brian always complains that I murmur and he can't understand what I'm saying, so it'll be in the chat, too.
All right, our next question is from Diane, and this is excellent. She said, what is a good place to find what is trending? Because we said it's great to do subject lines that are trending. On social media, it's always nice to tie into hashtags and things that are trending, but, where do you find that information? So, I mean, really, there's so many places, Diane. I mean, if you do jump onto Facebook and just sort of look at the right-hand side of your home feed, your news feed, it'll tell you what's trending. It'll actually show you what hashtags are being talked about right then. You can do the same thing with Twitter. I think it's on the left-hand side of Twitter when you log in, but it will also show you, what hashtags are trending, what conversations are going on, and what are people talking about right now. But it doesn't even necessarily have to be like an officially trending topic. What news stories are going on, what television shows are on right now. At this moment, it's like what Halloween movies, Hocus Pocus, like, what can you play into that is just sort of popular right now? So, you could get those ideas, like I said, from online, from television, from what people are talking about in the store, and mentioning. It really can be anything. It doesn't have to be some.
Yeah, and listen to your customers because they are the person that you obviously want to make a purchase. So, for example, if Brian and I are your target audience, yeah, talk about Game of Thrones, because that's our thing. But, that's not going to be the same thing that my mom wants to hear. So ask yourself who's your target audience and then, what are their interests and what's popular right now. You are the expert in your industry. If you are, a dance store, you know way more about dance than I ever will. I can teach you about online marketing, forever, but you're still going to be the expert in that industry. So, reflect on what's cool and what's popular, and that can really help you figure out what to talk about too.
Absolutely.
2 quick questions here from Geraldine. Is there another seminar on Snap Retail with Pinterest? Yes, I believe if you go to our resource center, we have 20 pins and when to share them. It's a Pinterest cheat sheet, and it's going to be me and Brian again, so you're going to have to listen to us again. But I love that webinar because, again, we're giving you 20 actionable things. Yep. Like, you can pin this right now, and it's going to help you. So that's snapretail.com, and if you go to the resource center, I think it's going to be one of the first ones there.
Yep.
And then also, Geraldine is asking, she's a subscriber, and she wants to change the color of the buy button from the product widget. Yes, you are able to do that. If you click on the product widget, it's going to open that widget to the left-hand side, and it's towards the bottom. It's under all of the, title, description, price, things like that. There is going to give you an option. You can change that buy button color as well as the font. It can say something other than buy now too. I work with a beater, and she has classes all the time, so her buttons always say book now because they're for classes or whatnot. So yes, you have the availability to edit and adjust any of those buttons, the colors, and what they say.
All right, and the last question we have right now is from LaDonna, and she said, can you tell me a place to go to find out how to Pinterest and Twitter? I love how she said that. Yeah, so I mean, there are many resources that you could find online, and again, Zoe mentioned our resource center. That is a great place to go. I know that we have guides, for these different. We actually have a Pinterest ebook and different stuff like that. But if you are serious about it, again, I would recommend coming on board with Snap Retail and working with that marketing guru again, because that way they're going to have one-on-one meetings with you and really walk you through those platforms even outside of the Snap system. Make sure you understand them, go over best practices on how to use them. So even if just for the next couple of months you work with them one-on-one and get that experience, I think that would be the best way to learn. But certainly if you just want to read up a little bit, on your own, check out our resource center and see what's available there for you.
Yeah, we also have a ton of different videos on our YouTube page. So if you go to YouTube and just search Snap Retail, we'll give you some other, I believe they're all under 3 minutes. So it's not as in-depth. It's not going to be that one-on-one conversation that Brian was talking about, but it's a great start. So you can head over to our resource center or view that YouTube page as well. So looks like we've got almost all of our questions. I have one left here from Kim. If we missed your question or you still have a question, type those into the chat now. We did get all of these email addresses for Tip Tuesday, and I will make sure that Brian puts them all in the system. I'll make that his job to do so that you guys will be subscribed to Tip Tuesday. Last question I'm seeing here from Kim, as any others do come in, just asking, where does the call to action button lead a customer to? For example, she likes the RSVP button from that open house email template we showed. So that button, you get to determine where that person goes. So the RSVP now, in Snap Retail, you would click on that button, and it's going to say click through link. And then you just paste, wherever you want that person to go. So obviously you want to be as exact as you possibly can. If you want someone to RSVP for an event, you wouldn't want them to just go to your website homepage. You want to send them to where they can RSVP on your website, or you want to send them to the Facebook event where they can RSVP on that Facebook event. You don't want to just send them to your Facebook page. You want to make it as easy as possible. You don't want these people to be sent on a wild goose chase, because that's when you're going to lose your conversions, because people aren't going to click. They don't want to look. You need to make it as easy as possible. But you determine that with that click-through link.
All right, we don't have any other questions coming in at the moment, so we will probably just give it another minute here to make sure. But definitely, I just want to thank you for joining us for our first webinar back in a while. I know we enjoyed it, and I hope that you did too. And more importantly, that you got a couple good tips you can take away and really put to work for your business and boosting sales this quarter, because that's what it's all about.
All right, a question just snuck in here. What is an ideal Facebook post to boost? So great question. I would say you don't want to just boost a post that is a fleeting item. For example, the post that I would boost, say you get a new shipment of Vera Bradley. You carry Vera Bradley in your store, and you have a picture of all the boxes, you are unpacking, and there's all of these, Vera Bradley totes everywhere. That's a great post to boost, because you're saying, hey, we've got this in stock, come to our store. And B, this is something that's exciting, and it's new, and it's relevant. So I would not say if you're doing an event, I would say boost, any information about that event. But for example, if you go to Snap Retail's Facebook page, today is National Pumpkin Day, woo! And one of our friends here at Snap Retail, he actually carved a pumpkin with our logo in it, and it's the cutest thing I've ever seen. So of course I had to take it outside, take a picture, in the leaves and yada, yada, yada for National Pumpkin Day. Well, National Pumpkin Day is 24 hours long. And although we're building our brand because it has our logo on it, it's really fun. It's behind the scenes of what we do here. It kind of is our brand personality. That's not something that's necessarily going to help us, and help you guys with online marketing. That's not one of our guides. That's not one of our webinars. So those, casual one-off fun posts are great, and they build that brand personality, and they're so important. But if you are going to start boosting, I would say do something that you can see an actual conversion. Someone could click somewhere, someone could buy somewhere, someone can subscribe or RSVP. It's got that call to action to it that you can see, hey, did this work? Did that $5 boost help or not do anything at all?
All right, Elaine had a question here. She said, any suggestions for building our email list? Great question, and really the best way to build that list, Elaine, is if you are brick and mortar, it's still your checkout process. So make it part of checking out, train your employees on it, and if you can, provide an incentive for signing up for the list. So that way, when a customer comes up to checkout, the employee can just sort of say, hey, have you signed up for our email list? You're going to get coupons. You're going to get, all the special offers and news and announcements and stuff like that. We're not going to email you more than once a week or once a month. Set that expectation so the person isn't nervous you're going to spam them like crazy. And then add that incentive so that the employee can just say, oh, and you're going to get 5% off this purchase or 10% off this purchase. Because what an easy decision for the customer now. They're going to get coupons from you. It's not going to be more than once a month, and they're going to save on that purchase. So make it a no-brainer, and also make it easy for the employee to have that conversation. So that they're not uncomfortable asking for emails, because sometimes that is almost like a privacy thing. If you're online only, or really either way, you also want to have forms on your website, so have clear indications. Sign up for our mailing list. Same thing, name the benefits, name the cadence or how often you're going to send, and also have a sign up on your Facebook page. I would have a form for people basically everywhere that you can to make it as easy as possible.
All right, a question here from Kelly. She says, so, ... we don't have a website.
Oh, no.
I just love that phrasing, because I totally know that. Like,
yeah,
oh my gosh, I'm panicked.
We get it.
You do post on Facebook and Instagram, and you email your customers, which is awesome. But where to start with a website? I will really encourage you to look at Snap Retail, because our website solution is so simple and so easy, and you really get to be in control of your website. I talk to small business owners all the time. They're like, we went to this ad agency, or we got this contractor, and it was, $3,000 up front, and every time we want to get a change, it's another $100, $200, and they have to email back and forth. They're not in control. With Snap Retail, you are in control of your website, what you post, and it's the exact same editor as the email editor. So how it is so easy to just drag and drop, here's an image, here's a line, here's a coupon, here's whatever, you can do that through the Snap Retail website editor too. So I definitely say go to snapretail.com and look at our website feature. And when we close out of this webinar, again, you're going to go to a Get Started page. I love our account manager team, of course, but they're great, and they're happy to just walk you through. Even 10 minutes is all it really takes, just to see if it would be a good fit for you. And again, it takes like 5 minutes to get set up, and in Snap Retail, it's not like it's a difficult process. So you could be working on your website in like 30 minutes.
Right, and they'll give you a free trial. If you want to try it out and play around with the website feature, they'll get you all set up so you can, make sure it has the functionality and ease of use that you need. So absolutely, fill out that Get Started. It won't be high pressure. They're just going to reach out and say, want to talk about your small business.
They're going to say,
and
sup.
how they can help you. They're going to say, what's going on?
Yeah, we hear you don't have a website.
Exactly.
Awesome. All right, so it doesn't look like we have any more questions. Again, thank you so much for attending. We could talk for hours. You guys were such a great audience. We will be sending this on-demand recording out later this afternoon or early tomorrow. Please don't hesitate to talk to those account managers and ask them any more questions. Thanks again, and have a wonderful holiday season.
Take care, everyone.
Bye-bye.